I got tagged a lot on this edit from Natt Jongsala, so I guess it's about time I make a second tutorial about him. Alright guys, we're gonna create exactly this. And today's video is sponsored by my homies on Patreon. Thanks a lot guys for the support. If you want to be my homie on Patreon, check the link down below. Alright guys, let's go straight to it. So first, let's set our project settings. Let's drag in a video down below. Then we can go here, click on ratio and choose 9:16. Then click anywhere on the timeline. Click on modify. And first, make sure you turn on arrange layers. And I was using 24 frames, so I will maintain it at 24 frames per second. Go to performance and choose proxy if it's not on. Turn it on and then you can choose either 540 or 720. This is gonna make it easy for your files, for you to be working on that very files, so your machine doesn't slow down. If your machine is really slow, then you can go for 540, but I'm gonna maintain at 720 and click on save. And this is not going to affect when you export that video. The quality is going to maintain the same. This is just to help you to work with the file during editing. So just click on the video, press option and drag upwards so we can make a duplicate of that. Click on the down video, press V to disable it. Then click on the top video, go to the right side, click on remove BG, then click on auto removal. And this always works perfectly if you have a good contrast between you and the background. Now click on the down video, press V to enable it. So first we're going to bring in our grid line, just drag and drop in between these two clips. And let's just stretch it to make it the same length for now. And I'm going to provide you guys with all the assets that I can provide you with these grid lines too down below. You can download and practice your hands on it. So with these grid lines, we want it to be from this side on the screen. So I'm just gonna click on that and drag it upwards. Now with the grid line selected, go to the right side, click on basic. On opacity, we're gonna take it to somewhere 15%. And now we're gonna bring in the falling money. With this, I got it from Motion Array. I'll leave the name of this down in the comment section box below. You can download and practice your hands on it. But with this, I think you can get more free ones on YouTube too. So I'm just gonna drag it and drop it below the grid line. Now I'm just gonna make it the same length as all of them. And this is one beauty of turning on the layers. You can see when we place it on that very layer, it's gonna stay right there without we necessarily changing it on the basic side. Now with the falling money selected, go to on screen and increase the size of it. Let's push it to somewhere here. I want this very side. Now with the money selected, go to the right side. On opacity, let's take it to somewhere 30 to 35%. And then this is a creative choice. With this tutorial, we're not going to go exactly like how he's been doing, but we'll be trying to add few tricks of my own to it so you can learn from both sides. So with this, I'm just going to go to effects on the left side, click on that, and I'm going to select favorites, and then I'm going to use this very effect, silhouette or whatever they call it, drag and drop on the money. As you can see, it gives this RGB kind of effect to it. So I'm just going to reduce the effect a little bit. And now you can see it adds a little bit style to the money behind me. Next is the contrast on the lower thirds. And if you've been watching my tutorials, we've been doing that trick a lot. Go to the left side, click on import, then click on stock materials. We're going to use the black background, just drag and drop on top of all of them. And as you can see, the length of it ends here and we cannot stretch it. So there's one trick we can use to stretch it. Either you freeze it or you use this method we're gonna use. Go to the right side, click on speed. Then you can just reduce the speed of it. So when we slow it down, it's gonna increase the length of the background. So now I'm gonna just cut this side off. I don't really need it. So I'm just gonna drag it and cut that off. Now go to the on screen, use this icon and rotate it to minus 90 degrees. Then we're just going to increase the size of it to fill the whole screen. Go to the right side and click on mask. Then click on horizontal. They've changed the name to it. If you're using the old version, it splits. Just click on that. And now just rotate it to -90 and drag it down to this very side on the screen. We want to have this black contrast on this very side, so whatever we put here, it's gonna pop on the screen. Now use this icon to reduce the fader a bit, or you can also use it on this very side. It controls the same icon. So I'm just gonna go for something like this. Go to the left side, click on text, drag default text in the timeline. Let's make it a little bit long. Then go to the right side, delete the default text, and let's write in anything you want to write. Then with the font style, I'm gonna go for this font, Helvetica, or you can go for any font that you want. Remember, we are making it our own style. Then I'm gonna click on bold and increase the size a bit. Now I'm just gonna drag it to this side on the screen. And then scroll down and we're gonna add some glow to it. Let's reduce the intensity a bit on this. Now with this text, we're gonna add some animation. Click on animation, scroll down, and we're gonna use random typewriter. Just click on that and let's go for somewhere 1 second. Now we're gonna bring in our second text. Just make a duplicate of this option and drag upwards. And we're gonna change the text of that one. Let's just drag it down to this side. And let's change the name of that to Joey Edit or whatever you're doing in the video. Then I'm just gonna drag it here. So this one will come in first before this. And we're gonna change the animation of that. With that, just go to animation, and the one that Natt was using, I think it comes with the pro version. So I'm gonna use any random free version that I have here. So it will be my own style too. So with this, I'm just gonna use the slide up. That's my favorite. So it will come in on that side. So this will come in first and this will slide up to that very side. When you look carefully with his edit, he was using the red color. Let me go to text and show you guys. He was using red color, but for some reason with the free version, when you use the red and you add glow to it, let me change the glow to red and show you guys. You can see it has this fade look and it doesn't look nice. So I'm just gonna maintain it at white, Command Z to go back. So now I'm gonna bring in an image, go to media, and I'm gonna use this very image. I'll provide you guys with that one too. Just drag and drop in the timeline. And we need to cut out the background. So take your playhead here and make sure you select that one. Go to the right side, click on remove background, then click on auto removal, and it's gonna cut it nicely. Now click on the mask. We wanna cut my hand off. I just want this very head to show. Then click on rectangle and select that part. Then click on basic and drag it down to this side on the screen. Now I'm just gonna reduce the size of it and place it down on this very side. Now I can rotate it a little bit to make it look cool. Now we want this image to be behind this second text. So I'm just gonna drag it to that very layer. And as you can see, because we've turned on layers, it's gonna go straight to that very layer. And we want this image to come in somewhere when this second text is coming in. So somewhere here, we want it to start coming in. We just drag it to that side. Now I'm gonna add some look to this very image. First of all, click on the image, go to adjustment, click on that. On saturation, I'm gonna take it down a little bit. And then I'm just gonna increase the contrast a bit more. Then go to the left side, click on effects. I'm gonna use this blue mosaic or mosaic, whatever they call it. You can find it down here below. I've added to my favorites. That's why it has this star on my favorite side. And it's so strong, so I'm gonna reduce it a bit. Go to filters and take filters to somewhere 9 to 10, depending on what you're going for. You can use different effects for it. With the size, I'm gonna go down to somewhere 14. And then with the texture, I can go for somewhere 40. Now we need to work with this image. So with that, go to the left side, click on import, then click on stock materials. We're gonna use white background, drag and drop in the timeline. Make sure it's on top of this very image and make sure it's the same length as the image too. Now with that one selected, go to the right side, click on video and click on mask. Then click on rectangle mask. We're gonna shape it very small. We just want to cover our eyes with it. I've seen this effect very much on Instagram. Then click on basic and let's just drag it down to cover the eyes. Now I can just reduce the size of it, go to mask, and let's just reduce the width of it, and then increase the height of it a bit more to cover the eyes. Now on the round corners, I just want to play with it, so I'm just going to increase it. You can choose not to add this one. Then click on basic and check how it looks like. Now we're going to bring in some money sign. Go to the left side, click on text, drag default text in the timeline. Let's take it to the top of this white one and make it the same length as all of them. Now with that selected, go to the right side, delete default text, and I'm going to use euro sign, so I'm just going to type in that, but you can use the dollar sign if you want to. And then I'm going to make it bold, leave it at system font, then change the color to black. Now I'm just going to drag it on top of this very side of this eye. Let's increase the size of it on this side and use this side, drag it up so we can see exactly how it looks like. So it looks pretty cool on that side. So with this money sign, we're going to do some animation on that. I'll show you guys. It's a bit complicated, but I'll slow down for you guys. So let's take it to somewhere here and click on this very euro sign or the dollar sign if you're using dollar. Let's reduce the size of it. Then go to the right side, on color, make a keyframe there. Then go 10 frames forward and make another keyframe on color. Then click on this color and change it to red. Now let's just close that and show you guys what we did. So when you look carefully, it changes from black to red color. So now make a duplicate of that, press Option and drag upwards. Let's just bring it to this side of the layer. And now let's just move that to this side of this eye. So I'm just gonna drag it to this very side. And now when you look carefully, the two will change the same to red. Now make a compound clip of these two and also this white and the picture. Just select all, right click and create a compound clip. So we'll make them one. With that selected, go to the right side and click on animation. Then we're going to use slide up animation and we'll go for somewhere 7 seconds. And now we're going to bring in one more text. Let's use one here, or you can just go to the left side and drag from this side, but I'm just going to be fast and use one on this side. Make a duplicate of it, press Option and drag upwards. I'm going to go for somewhere here so it will start coming in on this side. Drag it upwards for now and go to the right side and delete whatever text is there and write whatever you want to write. So I'm going to use very. And make sure whatever you're doing matches with whatever you're saying in the video. So with this, I'm just going to increase it to this very side. I want it to be very big, and you can change the color too if you want to. And I'm just going to bring it to this very side on the screen. And with that one, we're going to change the animation. Click on that, go to animation on the right side and select zoom out to. Click on that. We can go for somewhere 6 seconds. So let's just drag this to this very side. We want this very to come in when the money sign also changes to red. So you can see it changes red on this side. So we can just drag this to that very side. Then we're going to do some out animation to this. Just drag it to this side for now. Click on that. Go to the right side and click on animation. Then click on out, scroll down and select blur left. We can increase the duration to somewhere 8 seconds. Now let's do the same thing with this very text. Let's drag it to make it the same length as this one. With that one selected, go to animation, click on out, scroll down and select blur left. So when this comes in, all of them are gonna disappear on the screen. Now we need to do a little bit animation that I forgot earlier on to this very image. Click on that, go to the left side, click on effects, then click on favorites. I've added it to my favorites already. Scroll down and I'm going to use rebound swing. Just drag and drop on that very image. I'm just going to reduce the size of it a bit, and the strength I can go for more and play and see how it looks like. I think the speed, I can reduce the speed a bit. So now the next thing we're going to do is money animation. With this, I tried searching online, I could not find one. So we're going to create one in CapCut ourselves. So with that, go to the left side and click on import. I already downloaded this one on Google. You can download any dollar note or euro note or currency note and use it in this tutorial. So I'm just going to drag it on top of this image. I'm going to work on it very soon. Just rotate it to 90 degrees and let's just drag it to this very side. Now let's just reduce the size of it and place it right to cover my face for now. We want the money to come in when the dollar sign also changes to red, or the euro sign. So as you can see, it changes on this very side. I'm going to take it to right there and make sure I delete this side of it and start on this very side. So with that selected, go to the right side, make a keyframe on scale, position and rotate for now. Position. Then let's go to somewhere 10 or 15 frames forward and make another keyframe on all these three sides, the scale, position and rotate. Now let's just move it to this very side and drag it to this side on the screen. So now when I look at it, it comes in and it's going to move to this side on the screen. Now make a duplicate of that. We're going to do 3 more times. Press Option and drag downwards or upwards if you want to. We want this one to be below this very one. So now with that one selected, make sure your playhead is on the second keyframe, so then we can change the position of it and rotate it a bit to something like this and place it this way. So as you can see, it's going to have the same first keyframe and we just change the keyframes position of this very one. So now when I play and show you guys, they're all going to move and it's going to give this animation to it when we place it behind this very image. Let's make one more duplicate. Press Option and drag upwards. Take your playhead to the second keyframe and then we can change the position of it and rotate it to this side. We can just move it on this side, rotate it a bit and move it to that side. Now I'm going to make one more of that. Option and drag downwards. And now we're just going to do the same thing and place it somewhere like this. And make sure when you're doing it, you are on the second keyframe. So now we have something like this. It comes in and it animates nicely to this side. Now make a compound clip of all the money. Just select all of them, right click and create a compound clip. And now we can place it under this very image. Let's just drag it to that very side. So now it's going to appear behind me nicely. Now with the money, let's click on the money. This is the money. On opacity, let's reduce it a bit so we can go to somewhere 70, 75. So now we're going to do some out animation to all the things on the screen. We're going to start with this very, so the money comes in, stays somewhere here, take it there and drag it to this very side. With that one selected, go to the right side, click on animation and click on out this time around. Scroll down and we're going to use zoom into, just click on that and it's going to give you this cool animation out. Now we're going to work with this very image too. With that image, this is the image, click on that. Let's take it to somewhere here. With that selected, go to animation on the right side and click on out. And this time we're going to use slide down. Now we're going to do something with this money and this is the trick we're going to use. We want to reverse this animation we did earlier on. So we're going to take our playhead to when it ends exactly on this side, trim this side off, then click on that, press Option and make a duplicate of it to this side. Now with this one selected, go to this side and click on the reverse. So when I show you guys, it's going to reverse. You can see the money starts coming in nicely on this side. So I think we can work more on this. Let's click on this and reduce the length of it and drag this to this side. And now and play and see how it looks like. It comes in together nicely. Now let's do some animation to that too. Click on that, go to animation, click on that. And on this, we're just going to use fade out. So it's coming together and then it's going to fade out nicely too. And now we're going to cheat. So I'll be using Photoshop on this very part, but I think you can use Canva to create something like this. So with this building, I got it online. You can search for Dirty City building and you're going to get your hands on it. I've already cut out the background. Let's make it big enough Then click on this plus icon. Let's add some layer to it, drag it downwards. Then go to this side, click on the rectangle tool, select the color. I'm gonna use this very color, and then I'm just gonna drag it so we can see whatever we are doing. Now click on this very layer, that's our building, and make a duplicate of it. You can just drag to the plus icon and it's gonna create a duplicate of it, or you can press Option and drag upwards. Now disable this very one by clicking on this eye, then click on the top one. We're gonna work with the top one. So with this, you can use the pen tool, but I'm gonna use this very tool. They call it polygonal lasso tool. I'm gonna use that one. Just click on that and I'm gonna cut this part off. So just click and hold, click on this side. I'm just gonna cut this side off. And now on the top side, I can just cut it roughly and end it on this side. Now press Ctrl or Command J to make a selection. Now let me just show you. When I disable this, you can see we just cut the top off. So now just press V to enable it. We're gonna cut the down part off too. Still with that tool selected, let's just cut this side off just like we did earlier on and cut this side. Then Command or Ctrl J to make a selection. Now let's just disable this and disable this. You can see we cut this part off. So with that one selected, this time around we're going to use the pen tool for the next step. Click on the pen tool, then we're just going to draw some rectangle shape on this side. But before that, click on this color so we can choose the color we want to use. And with that, I just want to select this part of the building so it will maintain this gray color. And I think I can just move it on this side. Let me bring it here. So I think I can go for more. This is the color we're going to use, and click on OK. And make sure this side is left on shape. Now let me just increase it so I can see exactly what I'm doing. Now make a first point here. And now I'm just going to use my eye to do the measurement. You can see this is the edge. So definitely this side is going to be another edge of it. So I'm just going to do a rough and click on that. Click on this side. You can see the color is coming in. Click on this side too, and click on this side too. Now let me just reduce it. So this is gonna give us that look that there is a hole when this part goes off. Let me show you guys. When this part goes off, it's gonna look like there is a hole in here. So now we have all these three things done. Before we go, let's bring in our text before we export everything. Go to this side, click on text. Let's click anywhere on the screen and type in our text. Let me just change the color, select all, and change it to white. Now with the font, I'm just gonna leave it just like it is. And to make my life easier, I'm just gonna make all the two together. So the second one is gonna be 65,000. Then click on this transform icon and just increase it a bit. Drag it to this side. We need to get a 3D look of this money. When you look at his edit, he was using the 3D look. So with that, go to the top, click on 3D and select new 3D extrusion, and it's going to take us to the 3D workspace. Let's just close this. With the extrusion depth, let's take it to 0. Now click on this icon and let's just start working on that. With the extrusion depth, let's take it to 0 and start working on it. I'm just going to click this, bring it on this side, click this and drag it to this side. So we just want it to be on this side of the building. Just gonna click this icon and work more on it. You can see I'm really terrible when it comes to Photoshop. Let's just make the white pop comes out. Click on this text color and I'm just gonna click on the +1, click OK. So it's gonna pop more on this side. Now with that, let's add some glow to it. Double click on that. Let me drag this, add some outer glow to it, and I'm gonna leave the settings. Click on that, the settings, I'm gonna leave everything just like that. But if you wanna add more, you can just play around this. So I'm just gonna leave it just like it is for now and click on OK. Now we're gonna export these 4 layers. These are the ones that we have into CapCut. So with that, let's just deselect all of them and let's start with the top one. Click on that, then go to File, Export, Save for Web. Then make sure you select PNG 24 because we just don't want a background. We just want this without any background. and I'm gonna click on save. Go to wherever you want to save it, and let's name it. I think here is where we can name it so it doesn't confuse us. Now disable that. Let's enable this. There's the money. Go to file, export, and I'm gonna do the same thing for the rest of them, and I'll be fast on this very side. So now we are in CapCut. We have all the images here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We brought them here in CapCut. So that's one way that you can be using other softwares with CapCut, and your edit is gonna be so clean and good. So let's bring this one first, drag and drop in the timeline. Let's increase it a bit. So I can go for somewhere 190 or 200, and then I can just drag it down a bit to this very side. Now let's bring the top, the head, just drag and drop in the timeline. We're gonna clean up everything very soon. I'll show you guys. With the top selected, we're gonna use the same scale and size with this. So it was 198, and then here was somewhere -569, and it's gonna come right on top of it. Now let's bring this one to drag and drop in between these two, because that's where it's gonna be. And let's put the same figures, 198 -569. So now when I just take this and press V to disable, you can see it right on that very side. Now let's just press V to bring that one in. So now we're gonna do some animation with this as the starting of it. So take your playhead to somewhere here, because we want the building to come in before it's gonna go up. So I'm just gonna take my playhead to somewhere here, click on the head, go to the right side, make a keyframe on position. Then go somewhere 10 to 15 frames forward and drag this upwards. And make sure X stays 0, because we just want to move the Y axis. So when you look at it, it's going to open slowly upwards. Now we're going to bring in some animation in here, so it's going to appear like they are coming in from the building. We're going to start with this very guy. Just drag and drop in the timeline. And we're going to use some trick for it to look like it's coming inside this building. So first, let's just take this to this side, and let's place the long one. There's the long one. Let me go here so we can see everything that we're doing. So this is the long one, but we want this inside one. Let me drag it down. I'm going to explain everything to you guys very soon. So when you look carefully, this is the one that's going to cover, that's the inside, this gray inside that we draw. And we'll put this image in between that and the long building. This is the long building. And with that, it's going to look like it's coming inside that building. That's the trick that you're going to use to create that look. So with this, I'm just going to place him nicely on the top. He's going to be the main guy. And I'm going to bring in 2 more images. So I'm going to start with this guy, and you can get all this on Google. I got it from Google. Just drag and drop under this very image. Let's just drag it to that very side. So that's the beauty of turning on the layers. So I want this guy to be the main guy, so he's going to cover all of them. Now let me just reduce the size of this guy and place him on this side of the screen. Now bring in one more, drag it down this side. And also, just like we did earlier on, let's just reduce the size of it, drag him to this side. And then with this, I don't like it when it's facing here, so I'm just gonna click on this icon, mirror, and it's gonna flip to this side. Now I can just reduce the size of it and place him nicely on this side. Now we're gonna add something to cover their eyes too. Just like we did earlier on, I'll do one and I'll be fast with the rest. Click on stock material, then scroll down. We're gonna use red color or any color you wanna use. I think I'll go for orange. It doesn't really matter. Just go for what you wanna use. Just drag it on top of all the images. Go to the right side, click on mask, and click on rectangle. Then let's just shape it just like we did it earlier on. Click on this icon so we can increase and see exactly what we're doing. Let's make it small and drag it to this side. Now we can just reduce the length of it a bit. Now go to basic and you can see how it's looking like. You can place it nicely on his eyes. You can make it very small if you want to, but with this tutorial, I'm just gonna maintain it at this very size. Now I'm gonna repeat the same thing and cover the rest of the guy's eyes, and I'll be fast on this side. So we have all of them, their eyes covered. We're going to make a compound clip of all of them with this very one tool. So scroll down, select the first image, press command and select this tool. Then release the command or control and select this ones too. Now make a compound clip of it, right click and create a compound clip. Now with this compound clip, we're going to select an image of it. I will explain to you guys very soon, because with the compound clip, we cannot create a second compound clip and we're going to need that along the line. So just click on that one, right click, click on edit and select freeze. Select this side, delete and delete this side. We're going to use just the freeze frame, drag it to this very side and let's make it the same length as all of them. Now with that selected, go to filters, then click on this drop down menu on this side, select style, scroll down, we're going to use red color, drag and drop on that very compound clip. So now you can see it adds this red to it. With intensity, if you're not happy with it, you can reduce it a bit. Then you can click on adjustment, and then with the exposure you can increase it or you can decrease it if you want to. And now we're going to animate that when this is also going up. So with that, click on this very one so we can see where the animation keyframes are. Take your playhead to the first one, then select this compound clip. Then go to video and make a keyframe on position. Then click on the top one so we can see the second keyframe. Take your playhead there and select this very one and make another keyframe on position. So now use this arrow to go to the first keyframe. This is the one. And for us to see the animation, let me show you guys. Click on the top one, press V to disable it for now, and click on the down one so we can see how it looks like when it goes down. So I'm just going to drag it down to this side. So when you look at it, it looks like it's coming inside of that building, and that gives it a very cool look to it. Now turn on this very one, press V to enable it, so you can see when it opens, this is going to come out very clean and nice too on this side. Now with this building, we can add some look to it if you want to. For the sake of not making this long, I'm going to leave the color just like that on the screen, but you can just add some effect to it to change the color of the building to make it your own. Now we're going to bring in the text or the money on this side on the screen. With that, go to import where we have our media, click on the import, and there's the money that we are bringing in. Just drag and drop in the timeline. And the money is going to come in when this opens fully to somewhere like this. I'm just going to drag the money to this very side so it will start coming in on this side. Now I'm just going to drag the money to this very side and increase the size of it. So it's just going to come on this side. So you can see we did it earlier on in Photoshop and it gives us this 3D look. So when you look at his edit, he did the animation on the text separately. With that, you can just make a duplicate of this text, pressing Option and Alt. Then you will use the mask tool to select just one and do the animation and do on the second one. But for the sake of not making this tutorial, I'm just going to do animation on one file like this, and it's going to come in at the same time. So with that selected, go to the right side, click on animation, then click on in, and we're going to use slide up on this. So you can see it comes in from this side of the screen, and we want it to come in from the building. So we're just going to do the same trick, put it on this side of the screen, and then you can see it comes in right on this side. Let's increase the length of it a bit and see how it looks like. Now take your playhead to somewhere here. We're going to close it. So just click on the top one. This is the head. Click on that, go to the right side, click on position, and then go 10 to 15 frames forward. And this time around, we're just going to drag it down to cover it. And make sure X stays 0. And it's going to drop automatically a keyframe on this side because we have keyframe on the same parameter already. So now we are happy with the animations that we have. Now we can just make a compound clip of all these ones and the building too. Select all, right click and create a compound clip. So now take your playhead to where the head starts to go off to somewhere here. Take your playhead there and click on the compound clip. Then go to the right side, on position, make a keyframe there, and then on scale, make a keyframe there. Now go to where it opens fully. So this side it opens fully. Take your playhead there, and this time around, let's just increase the scale of it and bring it down to this very side. So now when you look at it, it comes in and it opens with a size. So now we need to transition it to come in nicely. We're gonna take it down below here. If you remember carefully, these are the images that we have earlier on. We're gonna drop animation on that. Click on that, go to the right side and click on animation. Select in and select slide up. And then let's just increase the duration a bit. So when all this is going out, it's gonna come in nicely behind the money and also the image of me. And then it's gonna zoom in. Now we're gonna transition smoothly to the background of this very one, and we're gonna bring in one more city building. Just drag and drop in the timeline for now. Let's drag it below these very ones. And click on this top one, press V to disable it. Just drag and make it as big as possible. I'm gonna make it to something like this. Then go to adjustments, saturation, I'm just gonna reduce it more. Scroll down, shadows, I'm just gonna take it down. I wanna darken it a little bit. With the highlights, I can go down more. Exposure, I think I can go more with this and increase the contrast of it a bit more. With these buildings that we just brought in, we can take it below this very black contrast, if you remember this very one, so it will be behind it. And when you look carefully, it looks like this. Then we're gonna bring in one more thing, the clouds. Drag and drop it below these very buildings. So this is the clouds. This is just an image I got on Google. Stretch it to this very side and let's just take it up. Now just click on video, click on mask, select horizontal. Let's just drag it down to this very side and fade it in a little bit on this side. Now go to adjustment, saturation, let's just take it down so it will give us that look. We need to transition from the background of my talking head, but for now let's just click on this one and enable it, press V to enable it. So with this, we're gonna play this trick before we make animations to that. I'll show you guys. Take your playhead to where this keyframe is on this very building. So that's where the building starts to open up, if you remember carefully. So take it there and select this very one and go to the right side, click on video, click on basic and make a keyframe on scale and position for now. Then click on this so we can see where the keyframe ends. It ends here. Then select on these city buildings and make a keyframe on position and scale. So what we're gonna do is when this increase fully, we're gonna bring this one behind down. So it's gonna give us that look. I'll show you guys. With that selected, we're just gonna drag it down to this side. So now when I play and show you guys, when it's zooming in, this is also going down and it gives this cool look that Natt was using and it's really cool. I'll just play and show you guys. It comes in and that also goes down. So now let's transition it nicely inside. So with this transition, we want when the builder comes into this side, then we can start bringing them in. So I'm just gonna drag this to this side and drag this to this side too. Now I'm just gonna make a compound clip of the clouds and the city buildings. Right click and create a compound clip. Now with that selected, go to the right side, click on animation and click on fade in. And I'm just gonna increase it a bit. So this goes and then it will fade into the background of it and it goes to this one and later on it's gonna close on this side. This is my longest tutorial I've ever done. Anyway guys, thank you guys so much for a wonderful 2023. Can't wait to see you guys all in 2024. Alright guys, catch you on the next one. Peace out.